So, a lot of people don't know that all the Need for Speeds are connected, from Most Wanted to Carbon to Need for Speed Underground 1 and 2. I'm going to connect all of them for you, give you the linear story. We're not talking about everything that happened after Carbon. The games after Carbon, we're not even finna talk about those. I'll probably do a part 2 depending on how well this do. So in the beginning, it all starts with Need for Speed Carbon. Everything takes place first in Need for Speed Carbon. Nikki was not only your mechanic, but she was your girlfriend also. That's important to remember. So in Carbon, you were meant to do a race. Now, you worked for Darius. Darius is this asshole. So Darius sets up a race with you, Angie 21st Street, Kenji Bushido, and Wolf TFK. So the race is pretty much a setup to get for him to get more power, for you to take the blame and all the type of shit. So what happens is this guy alerts the police on the location and who's racing and all type of shit. All the other racers get pretty much obliterated by EMP. They're no longer able to race. They get caught. You are the only one allowed to escape, because I honestly, and they don't say this in the game, but I think he has some connects with the police, because why else would an officer, an undercover officer in a Chrysler 300 SRT8 let you escape down the alleyway, but not before receiving a bag that, not before Nikki gives you a bag that was switched by a guy that works for him. So Darius tells you to take his blue and silver and white, blue and silver Supra and get out of there, basically. Telling you to go ahead and scram, lay low until the heat dies off and shit like that. But it was just a ploy to get rid of you. Now comes the events of Underground. Now, in Underground, you run into a lady named Samantha, and you're pretty much on what I would consider the East Coast. I want to say Carbon is somewhere like in a Colorado sort of area. Now, in Underground, Samantha is basically helping you build reputation and do all type of things until you eventually race the East Siders and shit of that nature, and then you race a female and it's basically done. It's a pretty simple story. At the end of Underground, you get into this big accident because this guy got pissed that you wouldn't join his crew, and you get taken to Bayview. In Bayview, you continue to make a name for yourself and things of that nature until eventually you race the Caleb guy that caused your accident. After the events of Need for Speed Underground 2, he eventually gets his hands on a BMW M3 GTR that I want to say he built himself or maybe bought off of BMW. Which leads to the events of Need for Speed Most Wanted. Now, we already know the story on this. If you want a part 2 to this video, let me know. Hit that like.